Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing yet another first impression on yet another new holiday release. This is the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana. So this is the newest palette from her holiday collection. She released a bunch of stuff, but she's almost kind of dropping things here and there, which can't say I'm a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. I purchased this the second that I saw it available. It just got to me last night. So I feel like the shipping is pretty slow on her website. I don't know what it is, if it's just where I live, but it takes forever. So we're going to be doing first impression swatches, you know, all of the good stuff, tell you about this palette, and I'm going to give you my initial first impression. Of course, I'll continue to use these products, but I really am just trying to get my initial thoughts out for those of you that are kind of on the fence to see if this is something you'd be interested in. So we'll go over all the information and then we'll do a look. So if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. If you enjoy first impression videos, please give this video a thumbs up. I will link the palette down below and then the rest of the makeup that I end up wearing, and let's go ahead and get into it. So a little bit about the product. This is the Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana eyeshadow palette. So Pat McGrath comes out with these palettes every holiday, usually one large one like this, and this is what the box packaging looks like. So this is gonna retail for 82 doll hairs. It's a little bit pricey. I will say that you can use the code, I think it's Celestial10, to get 10% off. So I've used that both times I've ordered, because today she did just drop the little 5-pan palettes. I'll link those down below if you're curious as well, but she's sort of releasing things kind of like staggered, and I don't really love that just because there's no warning. I'm not sure why brands do this. I feel like it's for hype, but it really is frustrating as a YouTuber, and I think for you guys as well, to constantly be wondering like, when is this gonna drop? When can I find this? And I'm like hunting around at different retailers. It just becomes almost like an obsession checking my phone, which is not healthy. So that's a side note. By the way, I clipped my nails down. You know what? I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed by all the new makeup and just, again, like waiting on packages, waiting on launches, waiting on, you know, this, that, and the other. But that's another story for another day. Now back to the eyeshadow palette. I just had to get that little rant off my chest. So this is an 18-pan eyeshadow palette. It does have all new shades and it has 4 different finishes. So here's the actual palette. And you open it up and here are the shades. You do get a mirror, and then this also has like these little ribbons to hold the, I guess, mirror up if you're gonna use it like a vanity. For me as a YouTuber, I like to be able to bend mine back, so I'll probably cut those. But the palette is really nice and weighted, like it doesn't feel cheap at all. And I like how thin it is still, so you can really store it nicely. Now in terms of where it's made, let me look. It is an 18-month shelf life, made in Italy. And in here you can see we have like a ton of different colors, lots of different colors. Like I feel like I really don't know which way I want to go. And I do believe also that you have half mattes in here, which I like. A lot of times for her holiday palettes, she will pack in a ton of shimmers, which can be fun, but to create a cohesive look, I'm glad that we have a lot of mattes. So I'm just going to swatch a few. I've not swatched this yet. So here are some of the shimmer shades on my little nub fingers. And then here are some of the matte shades. So I'm just gonna swatch these quickly. The matte shades are not swatching the best, but I really honestly can't tell until I get it on my eyes. So I really wanna get this video up for you guys today. I actually have family coming over in a couple hours, which wasn't planned. So I wanna be able to hang out with them. So I was like, let me just do this really quickly. So I think that's everything I wanna say about the palette. I wanna zoom in close and let's start creating an eye look. Okay, I'm looking at the palette and I'm really trying to figure out which way I wanna go. I think I wanna start off with this purple matte shade right in the center, and I did not set my lid. So that's one thing I wanted to note. When I'm using very intense shimmery metallics, I usually don't set my lid just because I want these to grab on. Same thing with matte shades. So I'm going to place this shade on the inner portion. I just did a look with the new Urban Decay palette, and I shocked myself. I thought it was gonna be a disaster and I ended up really liking it. So we shall see what happens today. You know, sometimes you have to take a risk, and then sometimes it really doesn't look great, and good thing you can wipe it off. Okay, so on the outer portion, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. I might mix in a little bit of this navy, but I really wanna see the difference in these two sort of purple shades. Very pigmented on the brush. And I'm going to pack this on, meeting with that purple, and then kind of pull it down here. So I feel like these are definitely different, which I like to see. This one's looking like a royal purple. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take a clean brush and start to soften these edges. So far I'm not having any problems with the shadows. Purples can be difficult, so we'll see if I run into any issues. And then once I've done that, I'm gonna go back in to build the colors back up, because we're gonna lose obviously some of that pigment when we blend. Okay, so this is where I feel a little bit stumped, only because I don't wanna go in with that pink. I feel like that's a little bit, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people are gonna do that. So I'm gonna try to use this taupey shade down here. I'm looking for a lighter matte shade to continue to blend. So I just don't know how this is going to mesh, but I just didn't wanna go too far pink. So sometimes when I feel like I'm not getting the blend that I'm looking for, I'll just take a pressed powder. I'm gonna try this to soften, because a lot of times palettes don't really have like a color that is my exact sort of like skin tone. So this just helps to blend into, you know, whatever concealer you have on. Okay, for some reason I feel like it's a little off, so I'm gonna go into the deeper purple that I used on the outer corner, and I wanna bring this, there we go. I needed something, I don't know if you can tell the difference that that made, but I feel like it just helped it look more blended. So I used that deeper purple almost as the bottom, and then use that other purple to sort of blend it out a little bit. Okay, so for the shimmer, I feel like I've seen a lot of people go for the blue. I'm drawn to this pink shade, but I think I just want to do something really bright. So I'm going to use this shimmer that's like a champagne sort of color. It's probably going to show up really intensely, and then I might use another shimmer. But I just want to start with this. I want to go in with this deep navy first. I don't know yet what I want to add. So I'm just going to use this on the outer corner pretty low, and the inner corner. Okay, so I'm just sort of playing around, blending. This is kind of what I do when I use shimmers, to try to get the placement right. So you want it to pop, but you also want it to blend into the mattes. So a lot of times I'm just like layering, blending, layering, blending. Okay, so I finished the rest of my makeup off camera. I did add lashes. I will link them down below. I might change my lip up, but I want to finish off this look. I was going to use this purple liner, but now I don't know if that's what I want to do. Okay, I'm actually going to use this navy liner. This is the Nabla in the color 6. So I'm going to use this on my lower lash line, and I'm going to go all the way across, and then I'm going to use a flat brush and just smoke this out. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into the palette, into that deep navy, and just smoke on top of the liner. Okay, my husband's parents just got here, so if you hear the dogs, that's it. So I'm gonna go underneath the blue with this purple right here, and I'm going to smoke that even further. Okay, I'm gonna take that same shade and put it on the center of my lower lash line. Okay, so to finish this look off, I think I'm gonna try this one right here, this blue shimmery shade. Okay guys, so here's the look I came up with using the new Pat McGrath palette for holiday 2022. So I have some thoughts. Overall, I feel like the actual quality of the palette was good. I didn't really struggle with anything other than just missing certain shades to cater to the look that I wanted to do. I do like that we have a lot of different mattes in here instead of just all shimmers. But looking at the palette, I would have liked to see maybe 2 of the gold shimmers omitted to exchange for something different. Maybe like a purple type of shimmer. I know we have the pink and that blue, and then maybe a lighter purple or blue matte. I kept sort of looking at my eyes and wanting to reach for almost like a baby blue matte, very similar to the one that I just used in the Urban Decay, to blend out the edges of the purple shades. I do think that the 2 purple mattes I used are different enough, but I just feel like it's lacking a lighter matte to work with the navy or the green or the purple, except for these, you know, like neutral shades. So there's a couple things that I would have changed about this, but I feel like overall I didn't struggle with the quality of any of the shadows. They blended beautifully, they were pigmented, and I did try to, you know, use pretty deep, intense colors because of course when you look at the palette, honestly, I'm drawn to down here. I've been loving cool tones, and this is what I would reach for if I was just doing like an everyday look. I feel like maybe she could have left out, I don't know, just the like berry red tones. I feel like we just see it so much, and when I look at this, I definitely can see 3 separate options. You have the sort of like pinky red gold up here. In the middle, you have more of the tones that I use, which are like the cool tone purple and blue. And then you have this sort of grungy down here. So it does make sense, but I do still feel like I really was wanting a lighter matte, like pastel purple or baby blue, just to blend out the edges of my look. But I thought everything blended beautifully. This palette doesn't have any of the special shades that I'm aware of, but I still feel like I got some really pretty shimmers on the lid, on the lower lash line, the inner corner. I did not wet these. If you do wet them or use a glitter glue, they're gonna pop even more. I think the packaging is really nice. It's the same as last year, essentially, other than I think she kind of mixes it up with the background, sometimes being shiny, sometimes being matte. So overall, I feel like the quality is good from what I've tried. Of course, I've only tried a handful of shadows, and I will continue to use this as well as all the other palettes that I am reviewing. I just wanted to give you my initial just try on and give you my reaction. Do I think this is my favorite look in terms of being like flattering and beautiful? No, not on me personally, but I did want to, you know, again, push myself. I never want to do just like what I would normally wear, which is honestly a couple brown shades, a winged liner, and maybe a shimmer on the inner corner. So I hope you guys got an idea of how this palette would perform if you did want to dip into those deeper shades. Let me know if you got your palette yet, or if you're picking this up. I know a lot of you are waiting on it, and I know the shipping can be slow. So I'm with you. Let me know what you guys think of how this applied. If you're picking it up or passing over it, I will have it linked down below, as well as all the other makeup that I'm wearing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you guys again for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.